I guess it has 480s and 490s. Yeah, 480 in the back and 490 in the front, I guess. But I'm not sure about that. This is 72. It had the Bixby on it. I pulled that off after probably 6 months of trying to keep it in tune.
And that was the problem with this, it just won't.
Miserable, miserable thing to keep in tune. And the vibrato's not even good, you know? I mean, it's like, doesn't jump up and down. It's just a weak vibrato. So anyway, I just pulled it off, took the spring out, and let it be a hard back, hard tail, whatever you call it. This one has been on tour with me ever since. This one I've had since '72. I didn't learn to play on it, but it's the first Gibson I got. I snapped the neck at least 3 times because it had the old 14-degree layback. And
that's the common thing.
Yeah, and it was just a shame. Just a shame. I was dumb. I just left it laying up against the wall and just did that. And bang, it was gone. I felt so awful because I didn't think it could ever be repaired, and I was thinking it's going to be laying up on the wall now. But the glue and stuff that they use, unbelievable how it can be that solid a fit. But it is just perfect. It's actually just the same as, to me, as when it was new.
And no problems with adjusting when you bring it in to get it set up and stuff? They just
no.
Like, no,
just as if it was the same. And you know, they covered it up with some paint, but you can still see the cracks. And like I said, it's been broken at least 3 times at the top, but it hasn't been broken in 20 years. It's as you can see, it's a working person's guitar, working musician's guitar. Got the belt buckle stuff. It's a little bit getting a little bit funky here, a little bit green on in the back. Lots of stories with this guitar, but my favorite one is this. We were playing the 7th Street entry in Minneapolis. We had been at it pretty hard that night, and so I got done. I left the guitar up on the rafters because you could reach up and get the rafters of that from the stage there, and I left it there hanging on the strap from the rafters. And of course, with the volume wide open and the amp wide open, so it's screaming feedback, a nice feedback, probably rolling out of the D string. And I turned around as I left, and at that place, the way they had the stage set up at that point in time, you would walk through the crowd to get to the dressing room. So I walked back to the dressing room door, and the crowd had parted, and they had remained parted. And everybody was still sort of cheering and stuff like that, and the guitar back there is feedback. And I'm sitting here with my slide in my hand, and turned around and just fired it right back at the guitar. Happened to hit it, and there's the little ding because I threw it pretty hard, and it changed the feedback. So people thought that was the wildest, neatest, well, not the wildest, but a great ending because it changed the feedback, and people thought I'd actually planned it out, but it's sort of an impromptu moment. So the ding here is sort of a nice memory. I never did it again because when you throw that slide that hard, it bounces, and I was afraid I was just going to smack somebody off the rebound. So this one has had no work done on it ever. It's obviously a little bit worn in the frets, but like I said, this is just it's been a great guitar for me. I've done most of the recording that I've done was done with this guitar. And another guitar, which was a Kalamazoo, which, Patrick, you probably know, is the 3rd bottom-of-the-line Gibson from the old days. There was the Gibson, and then there was the Epiphone, and then there was the Kalamazoo. And at least for a while, I don't know where the Kalamazoo line came from. But anyway, long story short is that the Kalamazoo was a Fender ripoff. Had a bolt-on neck, had a real tiny sort of body to it, and it had looked like a Fender at the top, only it said Kalamazoo. And this particular Kalamazoo was owned by Steve Alamo, which is a big Miami guy from the early '60s, and we used to cover a song by him called "She's My Baby." But back to the thing, it was owned by him, and had weak imitation Fender single coils in it. Like everything else, I ruined the value of that by stripping it out and putting in a set of P90s. And so once I got the P90s in it, that was a heck of a recording guitar. It just had the thing for recording. I mean, you could just get tone all over the place. And of course, to me, tone in guitar music is everything. It's as important as the performance itself. I mean, listen to the, what was it, the little sticker on Cosmos Factory. It says "lean, clean, and bluesy." If you look at one of those signs that's on the cover, and so to me, when you go in to record, you think first, almost the first thing is, what tone do I want from the guitar today? And of course, tone on the drums and everything else, but what tone do I want today? And you know, work until you get that tone, because you can put down a fabulous performance, and if you got nothing but buzz and rattle, it's not releasable. Those are the two main components. Then after that, of course, you know, it's mic spacing and what mic are you going to use, and are you going to go, these days, are you going to go analog or full Pro Tools? But that's, I think, a little less important than amp and guitar. This is just a real stock SG. I think of the SGs of its day, somebody made a mistake and made it a little thinner this way, a little more narrow this way, but it could be my imagination. It seems like most of the SGs are a little thicker that way.